Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a non-exact match in Excel. Now this is something, sometimes you're trying to match a piece of text and you try to do a Vlookup, but maybe it's company names or some other kind of data, but the spelling may be slightly different, but it corresponds to the same sort of entity. And there's an add-in provided by Microsoft Research that kind of addresses that. So the first thing you would want to do is kind of go and download this Excel add-in. This is the blog post, I'll leave a link in the description below. But you can basically just go and download it from Microsoft's website, or I've already also hosted it on kind of my GitHub repo if this ever goes down. Okay, so once you kind of downloaded and installed that on your computer, you should kind of restart Excel and you will find this kind of fuzzy lookup tab here, right? If it doesn't appear, maybe it's not installed correctly, or you need to perhaps enable that. I know it's somewhere around options and look at sort of the quick access customized ribbon. So you may need to kind of add that here. Okay, so once you've got that, this is actually a Excel file that came with the plugin that kind of demonstrates how do you use this plugin, right? The instruction is pretty straightforward, but you can pause and maybe take a screenshot of this if you want to take a look at this text. But I'm gonna just quickly show you how this would work in an example, right? So over here we have company names, right? And we want to kind of get match this with the company name over here so that we can maybe merge it and use some of the other data here. But the problem is this may not correspond exactly to Amazon here. So right, let's look at it here. So it's over here, Amazon.com Inc. And over here it's spelled a little bit differently, looks differently, but it corresponds to the same entity. So how do you go about doing that? So first thing you want to do is, for instructions, you will create Excel tables. So I didn't know about this, but this is something you can do. You select the data you want to kind of connect, and you will do Control L on your keyboard, and this creates a table, and will kind of turn blue like this. It's sort of like the pivot table output. Then secondly, you do the same thing here, and I press Control L, so it's become a table. So we've kind of created these tables. Now I'm just going to create another sheet where the output of the match is going to be stored. This is sheet 3. So the first thing you would do is go to the Fuzzy Lookup tab and click this icon, and this will open up this window, right? So over here you should have it's the left table and the right table, right? So I've already had some of them created before, but I believe it's going to be table 5 that corresponds to the data over here in sheet 1. And on the right table I'm going to select table 7, which corresponds to the data over here, and you can tell by the name of the columns on top, right? And you see it's kind of already selected the columns that it thinks will match, but if not, you just highlight this and you click this button. Well, it was already selected, so it created another sort of match condition here, so I'm going to remove that. But once you kind of select the columns that need to match, in our case it was the company name on both the left and the right table, leave that as default, and you want to keep the number of matches 1. Basically what number of matches means is it going to match, if there's multiple names, company names that look similar, is it going to kind of create another row for that, or is it just going to take the one that it thinks is the most similar to that, right? So once you've done that, just come to your third sheet, wherever you want to place it. You could even do it on one of the sheets here, but basically you need to select the cell where the output of this join will begin to be put. And once you configure it like this, just press go. And you saw like that didn't take too long. It took, this is data from the first table, sheet 1, and this is data from the second table where it matched. And we can see how well it did. So it matched Amazon, Motorola, all of these seem to be matched pretty well. And even you can see like how different this one is. Like this is Mellon Bank, Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. And this column is an additional one, which is the similarity score. So it compared, it used the metric to kind of compare how similar this string or text is compared to this one, and it calculated a score. And basically this is how like if it's closer to the closer it is to 1, it's like if it's 1 it's exactly the same. If it's 0 then they're very, very different. The closer it is to 1, that means like that's the probability of how good the match would be. So hopefully this was useful. I know this like used to take me a lot of time, and I just found this solution. I don't know, it's been there for a very long time. Even the instructions on the sort of sheet over here seem to be like from a really old version of Excel. But hopefully this saves you time. And I guess one more thing is, this is good for matching names, but there's a lot of other configurations that are kind of set by default. Like if you're trying to match phone numbers or social security numbers or zip codes, you would want to configure it to use that, right? But for matching text, this should be really good. If you like this video, please let me know, what you thought of it. Is there something else that you want to learn? We can go, this is a pretty advanced tool. We can go into kind of depths of it, how to configure it. We want to do that together. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'll be posting a lot of content like this, how-to videos on a load of multiple topics that I'm interested in.